All right, I think we are live now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of MECTV. Super hyped. We've got a beast of an interview coming up for you guys with Mr. Nik Robbins. So thank you so much for showing up, man.
Yeah, man, super happy to be here, ready to rock and roll.
Definitely. Let's do it. So I'm going to get the shout out to the MEC, but I want to give you guys a little quick preview on what we're going to be talking about today. Some very, very important subjects. So if you run a digital agency, this is one that you will not want to miss. So Nik runs a multi-seven-figure agency called Be Top Local. He's absolutely crushing it. But the crazy thing is, he was not so much crushing it just like 2 years ago. You really, really figured out how to ramp it up, scale it up, build up the sales, build up the team, and really change from not much going on to like, holy crap, what do we do with all this money going on? So it's been awesome to, hear that story, see that progression. And that's what we're going to dive into today, to uncover some more sales and prospecting systems so you guys can have that same new set of problems where you're like, holy crap, what do I do with all this money? So it's super powerful stuff. And I'll get this shout out to the MEC, but if you want to give a little bit of background on, who you are, what you're up to now, and yeah, we'll get it going.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we started the agency. It's called Be Top Local about 3 years ago, right? 3.5 years ago at this point. And my previous life before that was working in the NBA and the NFL. And I worked in ticket sales. And one day I got a W-2 from NFL. I was the top salesman in the entire company by 40%, right? I outsold everybody 40%. Got a W-2 one day. And let's just say I wasn't very happy with the amount of money we were paid. I made about 40 grand in the NFL. Outselling everybody. And I'll never forget that day, man. It was December 14th, 2014. 2 weeks later, my now business partner's desk is right behind me over here, was flying out for vacation. I was working in Tampa for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he was flying out for New Year's. And he was like, dude, I know this online marketing stuff. I just need a sales guy. I can do this. And I thought about it, and I'm a guy who makes fast decisions. So within a week, I had quit. I was like, it shocked everybody at One Buccaneer Place over for the Buccaneers. And I was on my way out to the middle of Utah. I went from fucking the beach in Florida to Utah. I'd never even been here before to start an agency. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. So from there, when you say we were struggling a little bit, that's like an understatement, right? Like I went from like top salesman, knew nothing about online marketing, and had no idea how to sell. My business partner didn't know how to sell because that's why he brought me in, right? And so we went 10 months with zero sales, nothing. We were going into debt every month. I was trying to sell SEO, website design, all kinds of different stuff, right? And it just couldn't sell anything. Was told no over and over again to locally, face-to-face local business owners here, and couldn't figure it out until I bought a flash drive from my man. Shout out to Billy Jean. I'm sure a lot of people know Billy Jean is marketing here. In May of 2016. For $9. And that flash drive changed my whole life. And because it taught me about video and how to utilize video and prospecting. It gave me ideas to use video and prospecting. Since then, we've expanded upon it. And from there, man, things really went crazy because I had been doing so much work learning about stuff. But then as soon as I saw this strategy, I was like, I'm going all in. And within a month, we had our first 2 clients, which we immediately lost, right? But 9 months after that, man, we went from zero to over $100,000 a month. We did over $300,000 2 months ago, almost 300,000 last month, and 20 employees now, office, all that good stuff. But yeah, it was quite a ride to get here. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And let's back that up for a second. So 0 to $100,000 months in 10 months. That's crazy. Like, especially for agency world where a lot of people, they want to get to the 10K mark. They want to get that financial freedom. They want to just get going. You guys shot big and you had huge ambitions. So I'm sure that helped in so many areas, but like, holy shit, how hard is that to go from 0 to 100K in 10 months? So that's pretty crazy. So everybody out there watching, if you guys want to figure out the secret to that first 100K, even that first 10K that he got, go ahead and type 100K below down in the comments. I want to make sure you guys are paying attention, ready to rock and soak up all of this content. So let's hear the first 10K story, because that's everybody's first big milestone. So tell me a little bit about, the struggle from starting from 0, being at 0 for a while, and then getting to that first 10K.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So the number one thing I want to tell everybody who's trying to get their first couple clients, like, here's the thing. Online marketing is a big world. There is a lot going on. There's a lot of different things you can do: email marketing, conversion rate, Facebook ads, AdWords, SEO, website design, all this type of stuff. And the biggest mistake looking back that I made my first 10 months was I was like walking around trying to act like a full service digital agency when I didn't shit, you know what I mean? And people could see right through that. So of course I couldn't pick. And on top of that, I also didn't become expert at one specific thing. So the number one thing I would recommend for people getting started, choose one thing. I don't even care what it is. I happen to go all in Facebook ads and ClickFunnels landing pages, right? And just building funnels for local businesses. But just choose one thing and get really good at it, whether that's AdWords, SEO, website design, whatever. And that's the first thing. You know, people try and be this jack of all trades, master of none, and they're a solo person. People can just read right through that, you know? So when you're getting started, specialize with one thing. Then the next big tip that I would say, and I still use to this day, and it's one of the most powerful things you can do, is I learned about videos. So I started creating custom videos and emailing them to specific medical clinics with very specific messaging directly for the actual doctors, right? I was addressing them directly. And then I would send them personal emails. I would send direct mail pieces, and then I would follow up with phone calls. And I would do 20 at a time, right? And I would surround these guys. And out of those 20, I got 2 clients. I figured out on average, every time I put together 20 videos, I got 1.5 clients. And I did that for like 6-7 months before it just got too much to handle between referrals and everything else. So those are 2 big things that, you know, really got us skyrocketing going to the first 10K.
Love it. That's so cool. And it's something that very few people are doing because everybody else is trying to cold email and do all this other crap. So when that comes up on the other side, you know, if you're a business owner, you see somebody took the time out of their day to actually go and, you know, say what's up and, you know, make a custom video and get some stuff going, you know that once you ran the numbers, you make 20 videos, you get a client and a half. So how many videos are you going to make? As many as you need.
And the other thing, bro, with this, and I did them nonstop. I mean, I was making videos on Christmas Eve, taking shots. Like, I would do a shot every video, right? Here's the other thing that was so important that I want to tell everybody. We got to over $100,000 a month with 1 ad and 1 landing page for 1 treatment in the medical industry. Okay, that's it. That's how specialized we got. So you must know your niche. You must like pick a niche and just go all in on it, especially after you get a few clients in it, because it helps with everything. It helps with your prospecting, your scaling, your sales calls that you have on the phone. Like I was able to use terminology in my emails and in the custom videos that they were like, holy shit, no marketer's ever said this stuff to me before, you know? And to this day, we still do that, right? It's super important to go hyper specific, and it helps with everything. I mean, literally 1 ad. Like I wasn't even the best advertiser at all. I was really good at selling.
You just found a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Yeah. Cause people make it a lot harder than it needs to be sometimes. And like, I totally get that. Like when I was doing more agency stuff, you know, I would get approached with all these random, different types of clients and campaigns and things like that. And when you're starting out, it's harder to say no, but if you can have that discipline to really focus and kind of be more subjective, or be more objective about your decision and who you work with, like, wow, things can really speed up. So that's awesome that was one of the big things that helped you scale up and get that first 100K month. How did that feel?
Yeah, man, it was fun. It was a lot though. It was a lot to handle. I'll never forget it's only been a year and a half. So I guess 19 months ago now, we went from like 20K in December. We'd done like 40 in November, but December was a short month, holidays. We had some vacations and we were kind of, you know, just weren't running like a full business. 20K to 70K in January. So like, I mean, we like tripled overnight, and I was handling all the clients. I was doing the customer support for them. I was still trying to sell regularly. And it was crazy. A lot going on. That's when we made our first hires. And then we got to 100K 2 months later, or 1 month later. I don't remember, one of the two. And it was awesome, man. Like it was definitely a great feeling. And we didn't stop there. We quickly moved to 150 and just kept going on and on. We had a really dialed in system. Great feeling though. It's been a blur looking back though, man. I can't believe it's only been 2 years ago. We had like 3 clients and I was still, you know, I mean, it's crazy how fast time goes, man. Yeah,
really. And that kind of growth is just insane. And what do you think was like the number one key thing besides being really focused on who you were serving? Like, how do you perform at that high level to be able to just go, crush it, continue, you know, say, hey, this is still not enough. I don't care if we're doing 70K. We want 100.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to say, and this is from one of my mentors, and this is really it. When times are good, sales above all else. When times are bad, sales above all else. So like I'm a sales guy through and through. I think it's the most important skill any business owner can learn, because sales is about so much more than just selling on new business. First of all, if you don't have sales, you don't have a company, right? Like we know that, you know, a mediocre product with amazing sales and marketing is going to dominate a great product with mediocre sales and marketing every time. I know that might be unfair, but that's how the world works, right? That's how things go. But sales is so critical because you must learn how to, first off, it starts with being able to sell yourself, right? You got to be able to influence yourself to go out there and take action, you know, go out, do things. But then you have to sell your employees, your friends, your family. Everything in life is sales. And it's one of the most important things you can learn. And it also save your ass. And the other thing that, you know, sales has helped me do is like once you learn how to sell and you've got a good prospecting system, essentially what I'm saying here is we went all in on sales, right? And I still am to this day. But once you know how to sell and you know that you can pull money out of nothing, you never have to worry about anything again. Like when it comes to eating and food and stuff like that, you know, and then you start looking at like 10K, like it's nothing, you know, because it is, you know, and you made a great point earlier. People overthink this stuff and they think that they have to be the best salesperson in the world getting going. It's like, that's not what's going to happen. The only way you're going to get good at sales is if you get told no 150 times to your face, you know, kicked on, stepped on, and you just keep going, right? Like it's just all about the action. You're going to suck at the beginning. You know, people do overthink this stuff, man. So that's really the big thing. And I've also got kind of a psychotic drive where, you know, it's Sunday night and I've been in the office all day working, doing stuff. So I will say that I put in a hell of a lot of work, but it's really been learning sales, studying sales, and becoming really good at it. It's been one of the biggest drivers for us.
Definitely. Yeah. And I just want to touch on what you said there about when you know you can create wealth on demand, you know you have sales as a skill, you never really have to worry about things that a lot of people in the world worry about. You know, where's the next rent check coming from? What if I lose my job? What if this? What if that? What if I want to buy a fancy watch next month? I can go and create money to be able to do that and to be able to make that a reality. So like I always tell people, figuring out the copy, the sales, marketing, like if you're actually good at it, there's really hard to actually get broke. You know, you can always create more. So it's super powerful. So let's see. For everybody out there watching, first up, make sure you guys type tips down below. Nik has an additional 10 agency tips for you guys on sales and prospecting systems. If you guys want that, we'll send it right over. Just go ahead and type tips and we'll continue uncovering some more of these. So if you guys have questions, let me know. Do you guys have big questions around sales, prospecting systems, mindset, scaling up? What's on your mind, guys? We want to help you out and make sure we are on the right track for what you guys need. So in the meantime, one thing I definitely want to bring up that a lot of people mess up, that I know I messed up a lot when I got started, was how the heck do you handle these sales calls? Well, okay, so even if you have a prospecting system, you get in your calls booked, and then I remember just kind of like bumbling around and like trying to, you know, learn about them and this and that, and then trying to pitch an offer, and it was a mess, you know? So when it's somebody like you who's been through so much of this, so much training, so much experience, seen it all, what are things that you bring with you into every call to make sure that you're going to do as best as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So you've got to have a sales script, guys. You've got to. And when I say sales script, a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I don't want to sound like a robot. That's not what I mean. You've got to have, I actually call it a roadmap. And I even have a sales roadmap. If you guys want it, I can drop it in here, where you have the specific questions you want to get out of every call. And what we do for our local business agency, and I would highly recommend everyone do this because it helps so much, is set it up into 2 calls. Your first call is a qualifying call. And on this call, you're literally just qualifying them. You need to ask them, you know, how much revenue are they doing? What does their sales process look like? What is their customer lifetime value? What do they need help with? What kind of offers do they want to run? You know, where you're gaining a ton of information about them. And through that, you can find out if you can actually help them, right? Like you don't want to go into every call just ready to pitch because you don't even know if you can help these guys. Like, because not everyone's going to be a good fit. So you need to have a line of questioning, and there's 7 essential questions I have, and I can give it to the group that you need to pull out of a sales call to prepare you for the pitch or the demo, right? And it's qualifying them, but you're also digging deep into their business, and it makes them feel valued because you should be asking them a lot of questions that a lot of people probably aren't asking. For example, some questions that, you know, I don't see enough people asking are, digging into their sales process and asking about like their lead handling process. You know, how long does it take you to close? What does your consultations look like? What is your close rate? You know, all that type of stuff. You need all that numbers as ammunition, and you need to find out also if they can handle leads, because there's a lot of business. It's an epidemic. I'm sure people can let me know in the comments if you guys have ever lost a client to bad leads. And it's almost always the local business's fault. But you need to know if they're going to be a good fit for you, right? So you go through your qualifying call and you get all the information you need about the business, and you get ready, and then you set up a second call. And this is where you're giving them a pitch or a demo. And again, you should run this the same way every single time. You should have an outline of where you're going to go. That does not mean you're going to say the exact same things every time like a robot, but this way you have the roadmap where you can go from point A to point B to point C, all the way down through a closing deck, right? So that was the biggest thing that I was able to put together. I put together for my sales team, as well as for, you know, people inside our groups that we have. And it's been a game changer, man, because like you said, so many people get on there and they fumble around and they go to, you know, out of order with questions, and the prospect can feel that. He can tell, and then they'll come up with a price off the top of their head. So, you know, that's the biggest thing. Break it up into 2 calls and take your time. And I love breaking it up into 2 calls as well, because especially if you're newer, after the qualifying call, it gives you time to collect yourself, get ready to offer properly. So you're not just trying to gather all this information at once and then throw an offer out there. So that's
and I feel like it kind of takes the pressure off too.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you can even let them know, like, hey, you know, this call, we're working on this and this, and we're gonna figure out if we might be a good fit or not. No worries if not. So let's get started. And it's like, you know, you're not trying to make the offer, so you're not nervous the whole time thinking about making the offer.
Just seeing if they're a good fit. And here's the other thing that's awesome about it. If you run the qualifying call properly, you leave them wanting more. You leave them super pumped about what's going to happen on the pitch. And they're thinking about you for a couple of days, because you've gone through, you've strategically asked them questions. You've gotten to know them. You've got them talking about themselves, right? You've kind of thrown in a little bit about what you do, but you don't give away the whole farm. You don't go crazy with it. You don't get all technical until you can show them directly through, you know, a demo. And then they get on this call and they're excited. So it builds that anticipation of excitement and getting ready to go. Because one of the things that we got to realize, guys, because everyone gets nervous when you get started. It's just how it is. I got nervous, you know, all that stuff. These guys need customers. Like, so often we feel like we're bothering people or something like that. We're on these calls, but like, these guys need us. They want this to work. They want to buy from you because they want to believe that they can get new customers. So we need to really adapt this attitude, both in our prospecting methods as well as on our sales calls, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. And it is something that can just really give you a lot of confidence to have that understanding and have that belief that you're not just being a pesky marketer. You have the ability to like save somebody's business or bring it to a whole new level. So it's just awesome to know that you have that power. And
mindset's everything.
Yeah.
Mindset's everything, bro. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like, I'm a huge mindset guy. Like, you've got to go into these things with the right mindset. You've got to attack business with the right mindset. You've got to understand. Here's a couple things that I know a lot of people think, especially in a group like this, which is massive. And you see a lot of people talking about agencies. One, we're a blip in the radar. There is more opportunity right now in the agency game than ever in the history of the planet. So don't worry about oversaturation or any of this stuff. There is so much opportunity to grow, right? 2, like I just mentioned, you're doing these guys a favor. You should be providing them a good service that you believe in, that can help them get new customers. And 3, they need that. They always need that, because local business's biggest problem in America especially, and I'm sure the rest of the world as well, is being able to get customers on a regular basis consistently, so we can help them with that, because this is something that they're worried about every single night when they're going to bed. How do I get more customers so I can feed my family? And we can come in and be that bridge. So we need to have that that mindset, attack the day with that. Even if somebody responds back and is a jerk to you or something in a cold email, whatever, like, it's fine. It's part of the deal.
Definitely. So let's see. We covered a bunch, covered starting up. We covered a little bit into mindset. Let's talk about things that you've seen, especially in agency startups, and their mindset that is really holding them back, and figure out a way that they can break through that. Because I want to make sure everybody out there watching has like a big, like, aha, like, oh, wow, okay, I can do this. Let's get rolling. Because I know, like, everybody in your course, everybody in your group, they are just huge fans of your mindset component, because not that many people are teaching this stuff.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be scary, and it's going to be a struggle. You need to accept that, right? Because here's the thing, and here's what I always go with. Like, yeah, it's going to be rough, and it's going to be difficult, and it might suck a little bit, especially at first. But think about the alternative. Like, that should scare you way the hell more. Working till you're 65 years old with no freedom, no family, no nothing, right? Like, opportunities for stuff. And I'm not against anyone who wants to work a job. That's fine. But, this is an entrepreneur group. So understand that it's going to be scary at the beginning. That's the point. That's why there's opportunity there, because most people are too scared to even get started, to even take that leap. So think about the alternative of wasting days, wasting weeks, wasting months, wasting years when the opportunity is right now is what should scare you way more than picking up the phone and calling somebody or sending a cold email or going to a networking event, right? Like that's the number one thing. Okay. Understand it's going to be scary. That's okay. That's fine. You're going to suck at things at the beginning. That's how it's supposed to be. You're going to get better if you keep going and going, hell, half the people who make it in entrepreneurship are people who just don't give up, and can deal with getting kicked over and over again. So that's really the big thing. The second one I hit on earlier, but I really want to make this clear. Like, don't try and be a full service agency when you're a solo shop and you're brand new to online marketing. Like, just don't. Like, pick one offer, one thing, go get good at selling that and go help somebody. Somebody out there needs your help. Somebody out there needs a new website. Somebody out there needs Facebook ads. Okay. And that's the other thing, which I also just mentioned, but I need to repeat it again because confirmation bias is real. The opportunity is massive, guys. It is so huge out there right now. There's so many businesses that need new customers. It's insane. And I understand it can feel like everyone's doing it in these little groups, but they're not. I promise. 9.9 out of 10 people on the street aren't going to be able to, aren't going to know what the hell a pixel is,
Yeah, no doubt. And it's really just want to kick everybody out there watching again. The full service agency thing, that's what happened to me when I started. So like when I got into the online space, I was brokering agency services. So I had a handful of partners. I would link up with them. I had a couple web designers, app guys, social media marketers, all this kind of stuff. And what I thought was there's an abundance of opportunity. So I might as well be able to grab a piece of the pie on all these things that are going on. What that did was I didn't know I was starting 7 businesses at once. Every single offering, every single market, every single product is its own business, has its own processes, has its own challenges, has its own type of way to work with people. And like, think of that. Starting one business is hard enough. Try starting 7. And I didn't even know I was starting 7 at the same time. So I really want you guys to think about, at the very, very least, cut your offerings down. Cut them down, get rid of those ones. Look at your past, 90, 180 days. Say, where's the money really at? And focus on that instead. It will save you a lifetime of hurt. Like my whole first year of agency startup was terrible. It was really, really bad. And if I had focused, and when I finally did start to focus, my income multiplied. My client quality got way higher. I had so much more peace of mind because I knew how to deflect opportunities and focus on what was good. And the coolest thing about Nick and what you do is everything you teach about prospecting is it makes it so people don't have to try and be full service, because lazy agency owners are full service because they are taking opportunities that are flying through the wind. They're saying, oh, there's a project. Oh, there's a project. Oh, look, somebody posted a Facebook group for a website. I'm going to go find a web designer and go get a commission and go chase down that client. No, guys, don't do that. You do not have to stalk Facebook groups to get clients for your agency. There are so many better ways. And what happens when you decide to limit it is you don't have to take any of those millions of random opportunities. You are laser focused on your direction, and you know where to go out and create leads. This is not sitting around and waiting for the wind to blow a lead by your face and trying to capture it and figure out if it's a good fit. You know exactly who you're going for, where to find them, what to say to them, and get in front of them and get a deal closed. And you know who that ideal client is. So that's, I think, one of the most powerful things about what you do is you're not just giving people the power to prospect, you're giving the people the power to be selective and really refine that about their agency and kind of take a step towards serious growth. So that's one of the huge things. Guys, if you're out there watching this, if you understand that, just let me get a type focus in the comments, because that's probably the biggest thing you guys are going to learn from just this interview. Being able to focus, being able to deflect opportunities will save your business. It saved mine. it's crazy. Like I used to be a mess like that. And then I got that focus and everything started happening in a big way. So I want that for you guys too. So type focus below and let's keep it going. So,
and not only with prospecting, man, I want to talk a minute about focus. And you brought up the organic thing, and there's nothing wrong with organic strategies, right, for the long term. But like, you don't have a business if you aren't having regular sales calls every single day, every single week, every single month, right? So you have to have a systematic way that is consistently getting you things, not just trolling Facebook groups, hoping for a one-off here or there. I'm not saying that that's a bad, it can work, right? I'm not going to go against it, but like you want to do the same things every week. It's consistently getting you appointments, right? And there's so many ways to do it right now. Like there's more now than when I was doing it, hardcore cold a couple of years ago. Now we've got sales and inbound. We do a lot of other things, right? But like, there's so many things you can do between going to networking events and starting with family and friends, and then LinkedIn, Instagram business pages, Facebook business pages, doing omnipresence, messaging all through them through there. Like there's so many things you can do, and you need to have like a daily prospecting strategy, because prospecting is your lifeblood. It really is at the beginning. Look, you don't have to sell and do sales forever, right? You don't want to do it forever, but that's what you need in the beginning. And again, you also want to make it so that you don't just like get one client, have this giant party, and then, not know how to get another one and lose them after a month, right? Because then you're right back where we started. So you got to build the momentum on it. So you've got to have like regular prospecting activities that consistently generate you calls that you can then close, right? That's the only way to get like a real business for the long term.
Yeah, no doubt. That's super powerful. And I like how you say daily. And the cool thing about that is it doesn't mean you have to be banging on doors every day, but like having an automated client acquisition funnel can be next level. So for anybody out there that wants to have one of those, what tips would you give for them to set up some ads, be able to generate some clients on demand without having to, pound the pavement or cold email or cold call?
Yeah, definitely. So I love inbound stuff. I'm sure people that watch this have probably seen my ads all over their feed. We spend a lot and we generate a lot of inbound leads through Facebook right now. One of the best ways to get started, especially on a budget, is to actually run Facebook bots giving away a lead magnet. So you get them into your bot, right? You drop a lead magnet in there. And then after you deliver that lead magnet for your niche, you hit them with a video sales page, which is essentially, hey, check out this page where we guarantee 30 customer opportunities a month, or we, run a trial to get you free leads, whatever it might be. You drive them to that page, and on there, you've got a beautifully done video sales letter, which, guys, you've got to be using video if you want to sell effectively, that leads to a schedule underneath. So that was one of the best ways that we got started doing it, was running it through a bot. So we're delivering value and then pushing them to our video sales page, which had a schedule link on it. And not only that, but you're also building a bot list, which that you can then send blasts to down the line, right? So that's a huge way to do it.
Quick question. Everybody out there watching, if you saw one of our bot messages about this live stream and came in, just go ahead and type chat bot down below. I'm curious because we just sent one to Nick's list, to my list, and bots are awesome for stuff like live streams too. So imagine if you could do that on a much smaller scale where you're just trying to get somebody into a call. If you have even 100 people, even 50 people on a bot list, I bet you could get a couple of clients out of that. And we're going big. We're just trying to get live stream people on.
Definitely, man. And the other thing in regards to, there's two other things that are essentially mandatory to have like effective, good inbound paid advertising strategies. And the first one I mentioned is a good video that sells your product and pushes them to a schedule call, right? You've got to have a good landing page you're driving them to. The other thing is you've got to really take care of your lists, whether that's buying them, really dial in your targeting, testing that out, doing email opt-ins to gather stuff. I did a lot of webinars for a long time. So I had big webinar lists we could build up and run off of, because it does take a little bit of time to dial in your specific audience. But when it does, I mean, it's just game over. I mean, we get 4 to 8 inbound appointments a day right now, right? And we're closing 20% of those into, $3K a month contracted deals going out, so it's just, it's a license to print essentially. Very, very powerful. Yeah. And find a good Facebook advertiser. We got one of those too.
Definitely. Yeah. So I saw one other question pop up, reminds me of that. So somebody said, hey, if you're spending so much time prospecting and selling, how do you do the fulfillment?
Yeah. Well, at a certain point, right? Like if we've got 10 or 15 clients, which you should be able to get up to at least 10 clients, prospecting and selling and still running the ads. Again, this is for local business stuff, right? I want to make sure we're clear on that, because there's some things, I'm not talking about complex national brands that, you know, are 30K funnels and stuff here. Because that's a whole different discussion. But it really, once you get to that point, that's when you start getting help, man. You start getting help with either VAs, or you find other people to bring onto your team. And that's really what it's about. And then you continue selling to help them do that fulfillment on the back end. Because for most local businesses, the fulfillment is a lot easier to do than the actual sales, right? Like, it's a lot more people know how to do the back end of the fulfillment than they do with the sales. So at that point, that's when you'd want to start scaling up and hiring a team. But, you know, with 10 clients, you should, you know, you're starting to make some decent money, right? And that's where you're getting to a good spot.
Definitely. For sure. So get up to the 10, then pass off fulfillment for sure. Yep. So how has your team growth looked like as you guys have scaled up? Because, you know, 0, 10K, 50K, 70K, 100K, now 300K, like, holy shit, that's crazy. So how did you structure your first hires? Who did you hire? Who came next? What's in the pipeline? Like, because the team went 0 to 20 in what, 2 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a lot of payroll. So who did
overhead, man.
First?
Yeah, and an office. We're all in. Most of us are in house too. So we hired Ben. That's my business partner, Ben. His brother for $700 a month in free rent in a big house we've got on the golf course. So that was like the first hire. And he did prospecting for me. By prospecting for me, I meant he went and did very, very detailed list building for me by searching keywords on Google, filling out spreadsheets, because again, I was very, very strategic and targeted with my prospecting messages. I wanted specific clients who were doing specific things so I could have specific messaging. Then I built the videos and did the follow-up and closed them down and all that stuff, right? Then after, you know, I was doing all the customer management and client relationship, and then we brought in a client or account manager. And she's with us now still. You know, she's been huge and instrumental in our growth. So that was the next hire. And then I found some people to do some cold calling for me, and then I would handle the sales and the close. And then we got 2 more account managers because I was selling on so much stuff and we just weren't outsourcing the selling, right? And then we got 2 more fulfillment people who basically built out our campaigns, followed our processes and our checklist to build all our Zapier and our online schedules and, you know, put our funnels together and, you know, that type of stuff. And then I got a sales guy last November. And right now that's the sales team, me and him. I run the front end stuff with Sema, who I know a lot of people know, shows the ads. I do the video creation and a lot of the funnel direction. And then I train him on closing. And right now we're rock solid. I mean, we've done 100 clients since April, you know, like 100 new clients, you know, we just got a dialed in system here. And we've got 4 account managers right now. We've got HR, we've got an assistant, 3 fulfillment, Ben, and then a VP of client relations. Yeah, I think that's most of the team right now. And then we've got some other people working for us downstairs on our call floor.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So at one point you mentioned systems. So you get the people on, you follow your systems. Now, I've heard this story. I know we want to share the story.
Yeah.
The big breakdown. So everything went crazy and then everything came crashing down and you had to build it back up. So like any good entrepreneur on the rise, some shit happens and can come crashing down. So what happened? What brought that on and how did you fight through it?
So I discovered webinars. So I was selling really good, right? We were bringing 6 to 7 clients on a month. And then I discovered webinars in August of last year. And I started pitching one to many, right? And we went from, I think, about 150,000, you know, with our team, 160. And all of a sudden I was doing like 15 and then 23 clients in a month in October. And we got up to 275,000 in October of last year. And that was great, but it was just a complete shit show. We were still on sheets. Our processes were broken. We had just been selling so much and it was just so crazy. We were trying to hire on and we weren't doing good enough training on the back end. Our ads hit a rough time with the holidays. So because Facebook made an algorithm change, which screwed us. And we actually went from it. We were taking on a bunch of new overhead. Like, I mean, because we're in-house over here and we're trying to grow and scale. 275,000 in October of last year to $100,000 in December. And we lost $60,000 in December. And there was at one point where in 2 weeks in January, I needed to sell $80,000 in 2 weeks or else I wouldn't hit payroll. So I had my sales guy in, he had been struggling a bit. So what we did, I got on the phone with them and I just taught them a new process. And we just cleaned house from since then, right? And we rebuilt things the right way, the right foundations. But yeah, it wasn't fun looking down my car. I got to sell 80,000 in 2 weeks at apparel. But you know, it's crazy because I'd already sold so much. And that's when I go back to, like, I can literally tell you that when you know how to sell, you just tend not to worry as much about things, right?
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
You know?
So I looked down and I was like,
you know, ride a bike. You're like, all right, we got a long bike ride ahead. Let's
exactly. We can go get this money, man.
How powerful is that?
Oh, dude, game changer.
That's so cool.
I mean, it just gives the most confidence in the world, right? Like, I mean, knowing you can go through that stuff, and that stuff happens, guys. Like, it's crazy. It's not all fun, fucking sunshine and rainbows and, you know, blowing smoke up people's asses. Like, that's not how it is. It's a lot. It is a lot, and it's also a lot to be responsible for 20 individuals' lives, right? Like their family, their kids, you know, because that's what I was doing it for back then. I mean, obviously I care about myself too, but like at that point I wasn't even thinking about me because I knew I would always be fine, right? I was like, I need to do it for them. I got to we got to do good. We got to get this thing in a good spot. We got to get ready to rock and roll. But it's so worth it because you guys, you hear this all the time, right? It's not about what you are, it's about who you become. And it is so true. It is all about who we become, which is why I am just absolutely obsessed with becoming the best version of myself and working on my skill sets every single day because I become satisfied by who I become. That's where the true fulfillment comes into play. It's not about necessarily about money or recognition or anything like that. It's about who you become, who you help, who you serve, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so powerful when you're leading from the front like that and saying, we got 20 people's families to feed.
Yeah.
You know,
so
this is so important.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell a couple other quick stories because like, this is real stuff, guys. Like, so again, 10 months, 0 sales, negative $20,000 in debt. I was actually gambling every night. I was playing daily fantasy sports, DraftKings and FanDuel. Every single night I was praying like Isaiah Thomas didn't miss a free throw and I lost my entire bankroll. Like it was brutal while trying to sell during the day. So that was brutal. My business partner quit a $120,000 a year job when we had 0 clients coming in, 0 anything because the job pissed him off. And I hadn't been selling anything. So we both jumped off. We've got burning boats behind us. Just so you guys know, we have a saying and it's something we wear around here. It's if you want to take the island, then burn the fucking boats. Because when you go all in and you got nothing else except to succeed, you tend to succeed. But here's the thing. We got our first client on a trial, right? And we spent $500 and got 0 leads because we didn't know what we were doing. And so we almost refunded him and gave up on Facebook ads. Like we almost done with it because my business partner had an SEO and website design and AdWords background. He didn't have a Facebook ads background, which is why we started in that. So we literally almost didn't do Facebook ads. We made one big Hail Mary thing at the end that all of a sudden popped a lead. And I remember we were having a conversation on the couch, like maybe we just need to refund it and go somewhere else. And I was a little defeated. I was walking down the stairs and then you started yelling, we got a lead. Like I remember the excitement when we first got our very first lead for that. Like we almost didn't have a Facebook ads company. And then we lost our first 2 clients within 30 days and we were back at square one again. But again, I found a way to sell. So I was so excited. It didn't even matter. Like there's so many things that we go through in life that it's all about just staying strong, persevering, and constantly seeing the end game and working towards the end game. Because you've got to have an unshakable confidence and belief and be chasing a future version of yourself. Like I talk about this all the time. You've got to be chasing yourself and who you want to be and see yourself being there and almost like mythologize your character, right? Like, and turn it into, you know, something you're going into. Because if you don't have that unwavering belief, like shit's going to come at you. Like I've been threatened to be sued. I've, you know, chargebacks. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. I know I made it sound terrible. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Because at the end of the day, I got freedom, right? I can do what I want. We've got a team. We can do a lot of things. Obviously, money isn't bad, you know. So it's huge. But you just know that things are going to be rough. It's not always going to be easy. That's what you signed up for. That's the life of the entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because once you stick to it, once you fight through those challenges, you get a little bit better every time. You start figuring out how to defeat that. And you get to the point where you were down 80K one month. You said, no worries. I'm confident enough in my systems, in my mindset, my training, and my team. We can pull this back together. Now, go to almost anyone else in the world. Say, hey, you've got 2 weeks to generate 80K. And what are they going to do? You know?
Have a panic attack.
Have a freaking panic attack. You know, start selling their kidneys or something. And like everybody out there watching, like that's the type of caliber you get with Nik. That's what he's bringing to the table. He understands not just theory, not just get a client, not just run an ad, but understanding how to play the game at a high level and coming with you guys with that real experience of a multi-7-figure agency owner. So like, that's one thing I've seen a lot, because, you know, I had been in this world. I had done the agency route before, and I saw a lot of people out there producing different things. And yeah, a lot of stuff is helpful. A lot of it isn't helpful, but there are very few that actually come with this caliber of experience and actually still teach it. Like most people, they'll, you know, buy an agency course, get 3 clients, hit 10K, and then start teaching a 10K agency course. So it's too common, you know, because they see that it's possible to do that. What you guys get with Nik is different. It's all those battle stories, all of the real experiences and the challenges, and that shines through in the prospecting training, the mindset training, the team building, all this different stuff. So let's talk a little bit about your Crusaders course coming up. I know I'm hyped for that. The results we've been seeing from your students have been insane. And you know, what's going on in there, and why is everybody crushing it so much versus all these other agency courses?
Yeah, man, it's because it's based on real world stuff, man. Like everything we do is battle tested, proven. I've done it. I've sold millions of dollars personally. And I also talk about how to run the sales calls, right? Like there's so many little things that you need to have in these sales calls that are going to help you close. And on not only that, you need to know how to keep a client too. That's one of the biggest thing I see that's missing from a lot of, you know, the stuff that's out there, right? People aren't talking about how to keep clients because it's not easy, especially with the way most of the people sell out there, because you're selling like you're promising everyone's going to get rich month 1, and then they're like, the lead stuck, I'm gone. And no one's bringing up lead handling. You're not training the staff. You're not telling the doctor ahead of time, hey, your staff needs to be able to handle this. You're not doing secret shoppers. You're doing everything you can to, you're not doing staff trainings, giving them scripts, that type of stuff. So there's so much that we got inside of there. And then on top of that, it's the most, I mean, it's got as much prospecting as any training I've ever seen, right? Like, because there's so many different angles and ways you can get clients, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say it's easy to get to 10K. I know that's like, you guys are probably like, oh, this guy's a jackass, he just makes it, blah, blah. I promise you it is. And one day you'll have that mindset. And I remember when I was watching stuff like this, I was like, man, if I only had XYZ, I could do this. But it's all about having proven strategies and things that you can trust that go out there to generate the calls and then get the results, right? Because man, there's so much you can do. It's all about taking action and doing action in a way that you believe is going to work. Because even there's another thing that there's so many people question themselves on, and that is choosing a niche, right? I know we just talked about it being important, but it's like, guys, just about any niche will do as long as it's not retarded. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make sure they spend some money and it's going to work. You know, the key is going out and taking action and doing it over and over again. So there's so many different things we have, from, you know, solidifying your offer, choosing your niche and choosing a good niche, to about 13 different prospecting strategies, to how to run calls, how to close calls. And here's the other thing. I've got direct calls from myself that I've ran in there. I've got calls from my sales team in there. We've got our exact scripting for not only the emails for LinkedIn strategies, but also for running sales calls, for how to run the pitch and the demo. I give you my pitch decks. And then we've even got full blown, you know, Facebook ads training from Summer Azuki. She's got a full blown course in there. And then on top of that, if you're a little bit more advanced, we actually break down our entire inbound strategies course, and how to do that. Like everything we're doing in order to generate, you know, 4 to 8 inbound appointments a day on our schedule that we're closing regularly. So, I mean, it's just it's like the most complete arsenal of agency training I've seen. Anywhere from someone who's actually doing it, who's still in the grind doing it. You know, I'm still close. And I really wanted to get something out because, you know, I've been in a group for a long time, Business Not Bullshit. If anyone remembers that or knows me from there, and giving away some stuff. And I saw how much it was helping people and how much people were like, oh my gosh, this is such good stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let's just share some of this knowledge out there. Cause I saw a lot of garbage out there, a lot of things that wasn't, you know, working, not everything by any means. I have several friends who run courses and do great work. Right. But this is just a full, complete package. And, yeah, man, the results are very telling. I mean, people are just killing it in there.
Definitely. So we got a question. I think you're going to have some fun with this one. If you're doing so well in your agency, why spend the time to create a course to inevitably create more competition?
So competition. So that's a great question, first of all. Second of all, I don't believe in competition. There's about 30 million businesses in the country. And so like there's plenty of opportunity, and anyone who's inside my course knows that. And so I've got people in there. I'll teach them how to get clients in my exact same niche. If I lose to somebody, that's, good for them. You know what I mean? I didn't do a good enough job. And on top of that, the agency still comes first. I'm still a CEO. I still run my agency at the highest level. This is something really to give back. The fulfillment that comes from it and being able to help others and help them achieve their goals is really what this is all about. And anyone who's inside the training knows that I actually mean that when I say it as well. This isn't some sort of like money grab. They know that the agency comes first and where we're going. And it's, yeah, man, I don't believe in competition, dude, at all. Like, other than wanting to win everything. Like, I'm not worried about creating competition because I'm going to be an innovator. I'm going to stay in front of everything. I'm going to stay on top of everything. And yeah, so that's really what it's about, man. I mean, and I don't, and that's how it should be. Honestly, in these groups, guys, like, I've made so much and had so much value come from not looking at things as competition and helping people within the group. And, there's people who've grown with me over the last couple of years that have helped lead me to all kinds of stuff because I've built those networks, those relationships, because I've been willing to share. Arne, I'm sure you can relate to that as well, man, just sharing with people and all that stuff. So plenty of opportunity for all of us. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Like everybody, they ask me a similar question. Oh, why are you teaching people to create groups? Then your group is going to lose momentum. Like, we've never been bigger. We've never had more engagement. It's crazy. There's like 2.5 billion active users on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's plenty of engagement to go around. Guys, there's hundreds of millions of businesses worldwide that need your help. There's plenty of money to go around. There's no shortage of it. And it's not like there aren't thousands of other people teaching agency stuff anyways. Not thousands of other people teaching Facebook group stuff anyways,
Yep. Absolutely. And you got to have an abundance mindset. I mean, that's a huge thing to look around, walk around with an abundance mindset, understand. Like, one of the big things that that's missing in America, this is just for, everybody's, people think that like there's a limited pool of money. Like, money is created by value creation, right? There isn't just a limited pool. Like, money will present itself if you provide value. Like, you don't want to have a scarcity mindset, anything. You want to have an abundance mindset and know that money is literally just energy. It's a medium of exchange, right? Now, that doesn't mean that, I'll leave it at that. Like, you want to have an abundance mindset all the time.
Yeah, I like that quote. Money will present itself if you provide value.
Provide value. That's what it's all about. Guys, you want to know the simplest thing? Provide more value than anybody else for your customers, anything else like that, you're going to win. Just always be looking to provide more value. How can I provide more value? And know your customer. You should know them better than they know themselves. You should know how to help them. Like, really, really get obsessed with that. The money you earn it's directly correlated to the amount of value you bring to the table. Directly correlated.
Absolutely. Good stuff, man. So we're just about wrapped up on time. Just want to say thank you so much for dropping all this. Everybody out there, if you're watching, you found this helpful, make sure to say thanks to Nik, and also type tips down in the comments below. He has a couple of additional tips for you guys. And the course is currently closed at the moment, but if you guys stick around, you will probably see some invites to that, and it's going to be epic. You'll see all the crazy results. You'll see what everybody's up to, and I say go grab it. So what last minute thoughts do you have for people? Any one big zinger tip to just get them going, get them crushing their day?
Yeah. Stop overthinking and start doing. Okay. Don't be a perfectionist. Don't worry about your brand. You don't need a website. You don't need all this crazy stuff. Walk down the street, go to a networking event, go ask for business, go do something. Like, the universe rewards action takers. It rewards people who just get going, and all of a sudden you start building up momentum. So stop wasting around. Stop thinking you need to know everything, because you're not going to be ready for what comes at you, and that's okay. Just go take some action, go get after it, and go ask for business, guys. Go to 2 networking events this week. Ask your family and friends. Do something to start trying to cook up some business, because it's out there and they want to buy from you. Remember that. They want to buy from you. They want new customers. They want to believe you. So go get it, guys. There's never been more opportunity than there is right now.
For sure. Love it. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you spending some time on here. And yeah, guys, everybody make sure to type tips down below. We'll get you some additional tips. And that sales roadmap as well, right?
Yeah, man, I'll drop that for sure.
Cool. Good stuff. Thanks again, man. And I will catch you all later for another episode of MECTV. Hope you enjoyed. Bye, guys.
Thanks, brother.